Good morning, students. Today we will discuss next form of business organization, that is joint stock company. Students, in this presentation we will study two topics. One, types of company, and other one is choice of form of business organization. Students, companies can be classified on various bases, but as per your syllabus you are supposed to do only three types of company, that is private company, public company, and one more one person company, that we will study in upcoming slides. According to section 2 subsection 68 of the Indian Companies Act, a private company is a company which fulfills the following condition. It restricts the right of its members to transfer shares. It restricts the number of members between 2 to 200. That means minimum 2 members should be there and maximum 200 members can be there in a private limited company, and this number does not include employees of the company. It also puts a ban on inviting the public to subscribe to its shares and debentures. Mean to say, it cannot sell its share and debentures in stock market. It also puts a ban on inviting the public to subscribe to its public deposits. As in case of shares and debentures, it also does not invite public to get public deposit. It does not invite public deposits from the public. And a private limited company must have a minimum paid up share capital of 1 lakh rupees. So I repeat again, a private company is the company which fulfills these 5 conditions. The first is minimum 2 members, maximum 200 members. And second condition is it restricts the right of its member to transfer shares. It restricts means things can be done, but after fulfilling some condition. Its members can transfer its shares, but after fulfilling some conditions. But it does not invite the public to subscribe to its share and debenture. Its member cannot sell its shares in the open stock market. And it also does not invite public to subscribe to its public deposit, and it must have a minimum paid up share capital of 1 lakh rupees. And a public company is, according to section 2 subsection 71 of the Companies Act 2013, a public company means a company which is not private. That means a company which does not fulfill the conditions which I told you in the previous slide is a public company. In other words, a public company is one which do not restrict the right of its members to transfer share. Means there is no restriction to transfer share. A shareholder can sell his shares in the stock market when he wants. And it has minimum 7 members. But there is no limit on the maximum number of shareholders. And it has no restriction on inviting the public to subscribe to shares and debenture. In fact, public company invites public to subscribe to its shares and debenture through IPOs, and it has no restriction on inviting the public to subscribe to its public deposit. Mean to say that it invites public deposit from the general public. It invites public to subscribe to its shares and debentures, and it must have a minimum paid up share capital of 5 lakh rupees. Students, on the basis of the definition of private company and public limited company, we can differentiate between these two companies. In a private company, minimum 2 members are required, and in a public company, to form it, minimum 7 members are required. and there is no limit on the maximum number of members in public company, and in a private company there must be maximum 200 member. If the member exceeds 200, then it will not be a private limited company. A private limited company puts restriction on transferability of shares, means its members are not free to transfer its share easily in the stock market, but a public limited company allow its shareholder to transfer its share in stock market. As a private company cannot issue a prospectus. A prospectus is a document which is used to issue shares. But as a private company does not issue shares, so it do not need to issue a prospectus. While for capital subscription, a public company need to issue a prospectus. There must be at least 2 directors in a private company, and in a public company there must be at least 4 directors. And in private company directors are not retired, but in a public company 2/3 of directors must be retired every year by rotation. A private company does not accept deposits from public. A public company accepts public deposits. And a private company must have minimum 1 lakh rupees paid up capital, while a public company must have 5 lakh rupees as minimum paid up capital. Students, before 2013 there was no concept of one person company. As I told you, even for forming a private company there must be minimum 2 members. A one person company is a new concept which came in 2013, which is introduced by the Companies Act 2013. As its name indicates, one person company means a company with only one person as a member, and that single person will be the shareholder of that company and avails all the benefits of a private limited company. Actually, it is a hybrid form of sole proprietorship and company. In it, the ownership rights are with a single person, but that person enjoys all the privileges given to a private limited company. And this idea of one person company has given a boost to entrepreneurs who want to start their own ventures by starting a company. Here are the features of OPC. This will clarify the meaning of OPC. Its first feature is that there is only one shareholder, only a natural person, means a person who is an Indian citizen and an Indian resident shall be eligible to act as a member of one person company. There is only a single member in the one person company, and that member has limited liability. Yes, that's why a person registered his business as one person company and why not as a sole proprietorship, because of limited liability. If a sole proprietor gets its business registered as OPC, that is one person company, then his liability is limited to his shareholding only. Next thing is easy transferability. Shares can be easily transferred by a shareholder to any other person. This can be done by filing and signing a share transfer form and then handing over it to the buyer of the shares along with share certificate. Next feature is nominee for the shareholder. In it, the shareholder must nominate another person who will handle the company in case of death or incapacity of the original shareholder. As I told you that the company form has perpetual succession. So to fulfill that condition, the shareholder has to appoint a nominee who will look after his OPC after his death or being incapable to run the business. Separate legal entity. A one-person company has a separate legal entity from its owners. Easy funding. If a person gets his business registered as one-person company, he can easily get loans from financial institution, from venture capital, etc. Director. A minimum of one director is required under OPC, and it can have maximum 15 directors. That was all about one-person company. Actually, this is kind of sole proprietorship, but the sole proprietorship gets registered as company so as to take the benefit of getting registered as a company. This is a hybrid form of sole proprietorship and company. Students, till now you have studied various forms of business organization. Now we will study, while starting a business, which form of business organization should be chosen. It depends on various factors like nature of business, like scale of operation, like degree of control desired by the owner, amount of capital required, volume of risk and liabilities, and comparative tax liability, etc. Now we will discuss each factor one by one. Nature of business and capital requirement. If someone is going to start a small trading business in which less capital is required, sole proprietorship is a good option. But if someone is planning to do manufacturing on a modest scale, partnership would be a better option. And if someone is planning to open a large chain store, a big manufacturing unit, and he will require more capital, in that case, company is the best option. Scale of operations also affect the choice of form of business organization. If someone is going to start business on a small scale, then sole proprietorship or one-person company is a good option. But if the scale of operations are neither too small nor too large, in that case partnership business is a good option. But if someone is planning to start a business on large scale, in that case company will be the best option. Managerial needs also affect the choice of form of business organization. If the operations of business are flung and complex in nature and requires professional management at various levels, then company form would be the best option. But if the business is done on a local level and there are no too many people to handle, in that case sole proprietorship or partnership would be better option. Degree of control required. If someone wants to control the business himself or herself, then only sole proprietorship and one person company is the best option. But if someone is willing to share the control of business, in that case company or partnership form of business organization can be chosen. If stability of business is required, in that case company is the best option because company form has perpetual succession. But if stability is not the requirement, in that case sole proprietorship and partnership can be chosen. From the point of view of flexibility of administration, sole proprietorship are highly flexible because in sole proprietorship only a single person has to make all the decisions, and that decisions can be implemented quickly and can be changed quickly. And in partnership it is little tough as compared to sole proprietorship. But in case of company it is highly inflexible because the decision making is done by the board of directors and by calling a general meeting. If some decision is need to be taken, in that case A meeting of board of directors need to be called, and they will all take a collective decision, and that decision is quite inflexible. Cost, procedure, and government regulations is another important factor which affect the choice of form of business organization. If someone want to avoid legal formalities and doesn't want any kind of government interference, then sole proprietorship is the best option. But in case if the person is ready to fulfill various legal formality, fulfill various complex procedure, in that case company is the better option.